I think your kitty ran away. Where's the new chickens? Inside? Let's go check them out. Oh, here, let's look at these ones first. We've got 16 babies in here. Yes, so we have 30 chickens now. There's our new chickens. They're doing pretty good. A friend couldn't keep their chickens anymore, so they brought them over to us. That is Betsy and Sunshine. Good morning, girls. Are you camera shy? Hello, friends. Welcome back to Joyful Half Acre. I'm Kim, and today we're going to be making some salsa because homemade salsa is so healthy for you. And granted, store-bought salsa isn't necessarily unhealthy depending on which kind you buy. We buy quite often just the Walmart brand, but it's still just simple ingredients. But there's just something about homemade salsa that it just feels good to know that I made it myself and that we grew the tomatoes ourselves, and it just feels good and feels accomplished, you know, to know that we made this ourselves. So we are going to be making a big batch today. I made a batch of salsa 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, of hot salsa because I planted, I'll show you, a bunch of peppers in my garden, a bunch of different ones. These are, I believe, banana peppers, jalapenos, whatever these are, yeah, and whatever these are, I can't even remember, but I got a couple different kinds, and these ones are all hot. This is not, but these three are. And I made a batch of salsa, threw in all the peppers that I had, just whatever came out of the garden, and it ended up as hot salsa. So I think I've still got 4 quarts left of that. So when I get this salsa done, I'm also gonna can that. I started earlier with, first I boil water so that I can then put the tomatoes in to get the skins softened up so that then I can take all the skins off, easily peel them off, core them, and then I'll get them cut here shortly. I do that with all of them that I have at once, that way each process is done. And when I got done with all of them that are on my counter, I realized that I should probably check my garden and see if I have any more that needed to be harvested. So me and Archer went out and got a few more, and now I'm going to peel those because I've got the rest of them all done. So time to get this last batch in here. Get these done. I don't think I'll do those. I'll add those to my little bowl here of just ones to eat. So then my next, oh, you know what? I need water. Guess I should have that ready for when they're done here, because it only takes a couple seconds really, depending on how hot the water is and how long, yeah, how thick the skin is and stuff. So I better have a little cold water. And yes, most people use ice water. I don't have ice at the moment. I don't always have that on hand. I know that's weird, but see, I got to talking and left them in there a little too long. Skins are all coming off. So now I'm gonna get all these chopped up, and my onions I've already got some chopped because I actually still have a bag left from last year, and I debated on using that one or getting a bunch from the garden, because it's on my to-do list for tomorrow to harvest all my onions from the garden, and then I'm gonna be chopping those. And I thought, do I chop up a bunch today along with chopping these up and green peppers and a couple hot peppers, or do I just not worry about that and just use the frozen? And I decided to go with the easy and use the frozen today because it is the afternoon and I want to get through this. I love doing it, but I love it when it's done too. Not everyone agrees that tomatoes are necessarily healthy for you. A lot of people don't eat them because they are in the nightshade family, and to some people can have trouble with them. I personally don't feel like I ever have had trouble with nightshades, so I don't worry about it. Also, Dr. Stephen Gundry talks a lot about lectins, and tomatoes have lectins. I'm sure him being a doctor, he knows what he's talking about, and some people probably do have trouble with lectins and nightshades. I don't feel like I personally do. I feel like as long as I stay away from the sugar and processed stuff and fake stuff, that I'm good. So I figure it's a vegetable. I'm gonna eat it. I love tomatoes. I love them plain with just salt on them in salsa. That is our favorite way to use it. We can use a quart of salsa every week because we have tacos at least once a week, and then for lunches and stuff too. So we need a lot of salsa. So I just wanted to mention that not everybody agrees tomatoes are healthy. I personally love them. I am not fond of this part of the coring them and the getting the seeds out and the chopping. It seems like forever. It takes a couple hours, and I'm just get impatient. I'm an impatient person, I will admit, but it's so worth it in the end. But I was just chopping, standing here thinking, it's no wonder people don't do this a lot, because it is a lot of work. And when you can buy salsa at the store for, you know, a couple dollars, it's much more convenient. But the convenient thing isn't always the best thing. Also, I think it's important for us to learn these skills like this, because you just never know what the future is going to hold, and you never know when, you know, it might be hard to get to the grocery store, or they may be out of salsa. You never know. We just don't know what the future holds, and it's good to know these preparedness skills just in case. You know, the things you can do for good health, being prepared to live life a little more harder, but simply. It's kind of a oxymoron there. It's such a simpler life, but yet it's actually a lot more hard work. It's a lot harder to make your own salsa than going to the store, but it is so worth it, and a skill that I feel like is really important to have and to keep honing too. Not just, there's some skills that I've done once, I don't ever want to do again, like butchering chickens. I've done it. I could do it if I had to. Don't want to ever do it again. This, however, I feel like is a skill that I've done. I know how to do it, but I need to keep up on it, because it's important to know how to can properly, just in case we may need it in the future. And in the meantime, we get lots of healthy food. And yes, I know a food processor would do this much faster, much easier, but I am stubborn. If I have a food processor, that just means that I have another gadget in my house, and it's another thing I have to find a place for, and that I rarely use. And so to me, it would just be more of a headache to have another thing sitting around than it is for me to spend the time to do this. I know that makes no sense, but for me mentally, my mental clarity, it's better to have less around, sitting around, less stuff, then yeah, it's just better mentally to have to spend more time and do more work than it is to have that thing there. So I know, sounds dumb. That's just how my brain works. And day 2 of salsa making, because I had to quit yesterday. It just got late and I had to fix supper and milk the goats, and so I just put it away for the evening. So now I just gotta add everything and do everything else. But first I'm making breakfast for the children. It's 8:30, so I should probably feed them. And then I will get this hopefully canned this morning. Before I do that though, something I have been meaning to tell you all, something I did this summer that you probably can notice if you've watched many of my videos. I have remodeled my kitchen. Okay, I have repainted it. These cupboards used to be brown, and I'll try to throw in a couple older pictures in here. And I took all the cabinet doors off. I painted, hopefully it's clean in here. No, it's not. But I painted inside the cabinets, and I painted the doors. I took off all the hardware and this hardware, and I spray painted them black because they were like, what were they? Like a bronze color. And I got those all done. And so I will show you. Don't mind my messy kitchen since I didn't do dishes last night either, and I usually do. My cabinets look so much nicer. I love it. I also painted my island. This bottom was brown and the top was was the wall color, what it used to be. And I painted the walls a gray. And I painted my breakfast nook. Don't mind it. Yes, the kids play in here while I'm working and I need to fold laundry. And my baseboards, deflated beach ball from BBS. My last video was BBS. This was one of the crafts that they did, actually, and it's still hanging around months later. Although I think it's popped now, so I'll have to throw it away. But I painted all the baseboards, and if you want to know what color it used to be, I have kept the doors the wood color. The reason I didn't just leave it this wood, because I love hardwood. I mean, I love it. Most of our house is hardwood. This is like a orange. It's got that orange tint to it, that like 70s or whatever. And I really hate that. So that's why I didn't want this all the way through the house. And so I painted all the trim white in the kitchen and the breakfast nook and my entryway, which right now is bare. We are getting ready to build a built-in shoe bench here. It's gonna be all the way across here, a couple shelves, and up on either side of the window here, and I'll have like boxes up here. I've got it all planned out. We even bought all the material. The holdup is we are redoing all the floors, and I wasn't sure. I really would like to do the floors first and then build the built-in, but we have decided to do the flooring on the long Labor Day weekend coming up in a couple weeks, but that's like three weekends away, and I don't really want to not use my entryway for 3 weeks. So we might actually build it, just not put in the bottom supports, because the bench is going to attach to the wall anyway. And so we might go ahead and build that and then just leave the legs, the support off, and just not sit on it until we get those supports on. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens and what gets done, and yeah, whether that gets done this week or not. This is the last week before school starts, so we're trying to get things accomplished. Salsa, the entryway. I've been painting a lot of trim. This last week I did a lot of that and got that finally ready so that we can lay the floor. And this is what it looked like before. And this is actually the color that the kitchen was too. So it was like this, and now it's like that. I love it. I think it turned out great, and I'm so happy with it. It looks so much cleaner. Last week also, besides the trim, I also painted in my trash cupboard, which used to be just a yellow, and now it looks much better. It's the little things in life that make me happy. What do you want for breakfast, little girl? Not bad. My recipe, I'm not sure where I got it from, but it's worked out really good for a few years now. It's a good canning recipe. I will say I did not measure the tomatoes, or the onions or green peppers. I just threw a bunch in, but I just threw in all the tomatoes I had, and it's probably about 3 cups onions, 3 cups green peppers. I did not throw in jalapenos because, like I said, we have hot, and I don't want to accidentally make this too hot. So, but I do follow the recipe for the rest of it. Make sure I get vinegar, cumin, salt, pepper, oregano, and cayenne, just a little bit of that. All the spices in, stir it up, and then we just wait for it to boil 30 minutes, and then I'll be able to can it. All right, this is done. Well, it will be in 2 minutes. It will have boiled for 20 minutes. This, I heated up. This is my hot salsa that I had in jars in the fridge. I just put it in there, and my canner's boiling. I'm like, wait, and then, okay, it's done. Time to do it, and I'm not ready. So, what I like to do, since you're supposed to have hot jars, is I just like to sit them in my sink full of hot water. And that way I can just dump out the hot water when I'm ready to use it. Keeps the jars hot. And this is the fun part, actually getting to can it. And I know if you're gonna can, I will recommend always using a trusted recipe from like the Ball Blue Book or something similar, something that is a trusted salsa recipe. That way you don't hurt your family or anything. That's what I have to say, but I will admit I do change things up a little bit. And this is what you call having the good with the bad. I'm standing here listening to my jars pop, sealing, as I'm putting in my next batch, and I heard something, so I started checking them, and yes, this one exploded and broke. So now I get to take them out. Luckily, I figured it out now before I started actually canning them, so that I'm not wasting the time. But now not only did I lose a jar of hot salsa, but these are sealing. They're not done though. Now I have to dump the water, start over with fresh water, which takes forever to heat up. Okay, not forever. That may be quite an exaggeration, but it takes a little while. It's okay. Anything you do, there's going to be frustrations. We just have to deal with it and get through and look on the bright side. And the bright side is I've got jars popping and sealing over here. I wonder what causes this though. I have had it happen before, just a clean break, and I've heard it before when it's happened too, just kind of like a little pop when you put it in. When you record and you forgot to press the record button and you thought you were recording and you didn't. Anyway, I was saying when I thought I was recording that when I put these quarts in here, these three, I heard a pop, and I was really worried that one of them might have broken, so I am really thankful, thank you Lord, for not having those be broken. And then I put these quarts in, or no, pints in again, 5 of them, because the 6th one broke last time. And I heard another pop, and I'm just really hopeful that it isn't one breaking, but I'm gonna just go with it and see what happens at this point. I did it. I successfully canned 8 quarts of regular salsa and 5 pints of hot salsa. And I was so happy to see that none of the pints broke again the last time I put them in. So yeah, that made me really happy. So now we have some healthy salsa to eat for the next couple weeks, because honestly, we can go through a quart a week, and so that's only 8 weeks. But I have plenty of more tomatoes out in the garden. I will be able to can plenty more. I've got lots of work ahead of me. Actually, in a video here soon, I'm going to show you my garden. It is a mess, but that's okay. And what's interesting is 2 years ago, my first ever video I made was canning salsa. If it was really bad. I'm sure this one is much better. It's not perfect because I am far from perfect, but I'm sure this is much better than that first original video I made. So that is our day. So thanks for watching today, friends. I hope you'll like this video, subscribe to my channel, and continue to join us in this joy-filled life. Thanks. Bye.